Live from Denver, Colorado, this is Before the Chop, the morning show for barbers. Here's your host, David Ford.
You know the daydream. It's a slow day, your chair is empty, and the last walk-in left an hour ago. You lean on the counter, and you run the same movie you always run, the one where it finally picks up. In the movie, the shop is slammed. The book is out 3 weeks. A second location has your name over the door, and everybody in the neighborhood drops that name. Good movie. Frankly, a classic. You've seen it more times than Shawshank, and you'd watch it again tonight. But the movie has one flaw. In the daydream, the busy version of you just shows up. He's already built. He's already fast enough. He's already booked. He's already ready. And that guy does not exist yet. He only gets made in one place. The slow shift you're standing in right now watching a movie about him. I can tell you why that movie keeps running. Because it ran in my own head for years. The thing standing between you and starting isn't clarity. You already know what you should be working on. What you're short on is permission. You keep waiting for somebody to walk in and say, "It's okay to begin. You're allowed. Now is the time." This morning, I'm taking that excuse off the table. Nobody is coming to hand it to you. Good morning, barbers. I'm David Ford, Dean of the Before the Chop School of Business. The faculty is me. The lecture is once a week. The student body is whoever has the show on this morning. Enrollment is free. Attendance is your problem. Showing up is the whole tuition. And the dining hall is whatever's in your thermos. So welcome to class. And today's lecture starts with a warning. The opportunity in that daydream will not knock and then wait around while you get ready. It lands as a pop quiz on whatever you already are on that day. No extensions and no copying off the barber next to you because he really didn't study either. So here's the deal for the hour. When we sign off today, you'll know exactly what to build in the slow stretches. Then, the next real opportunity catches you ready instead of catching you dead flat. The chair that opens up, the price you've been scared to charge, the second station, the client who changes your year. Last week, we worked on getting the right people to find you. This morning is about being worth finding when they do. The slow season is not the off season. It's the build season. And almost none of us treat it like that. Anything good that ever happens behind that chair will ask you one question first. Did you do the boring work before it got here? The syllabus runs long today too. The news takes us from a brand new barber college in Ohio to a Raleigh shop that just outgrew its own state line. There's also a lie about hair growth that half of this trade still repeats. I'm going to set it next to two true claims and let it fall apart on its own, gently, in front of everyone. 3 working barbers found their way into the show this week too. One of them, my friend out of Milwaukee, with words for every veteran who hates the kids' haircuts. We'll deal with him. And before we're done, I'll hand you a word from the old guild trades. You can wear it like a title. Good thing you're already enrolled. 3 ways to talk back this morning, all morning long, and yes, talking back is encouraged at this particular school. The live chat runs while we roll, comments stay open under the replay, and you already know it, mail@beforethechop.com is on whenever something lands. So, coffee's hot, we open with the Mindset Minute, then we spend the rest of the hour on the build itself. Here's the idea I wish somebody had grabbed me by the collar about years ago. You are not waiting on clarity. You already know what to work on. You're waiting on permission, and it's never coming because there's nobody whose job it is to give it to you. Think about how many barbers spend years in a holding pattern that feels productive. You'll raise your prices once things settle down. You will add the service once you get a slow week to learn it. You'll build the brand, film the work, take the harder chair once somebody comes along and magically says, it's time. That signal always feels close too. Any day now, a client or a mentor or a landlord or the universe itself will lean in and say, okay, you're ready. Go ahead. I watched this happen to a barber I came up around. He was super talented and everybody knew it. For 3 years, he was about to go out on his own. He waited to feel ready. He waited for a sign. He waited for somebody to basically knight him. No sign ever came because signs don't come. What finally moved him wasn't confidence. It was a lease ending and no other choice left. You know what he told me afterward? He said he'd been ready for those 3 years. He'd spent them auditioning for a permission slip nobody was ever going to write, though. Nobody says the words. That isn't cruelty. It's just how the structure works. The day you rented your booth, you stopped being someone who gets told when it's time. There's no manager left to promote you. Working for yourself folds the beautiful part and the terrifying part into one thing. The green light moved inside the building with you, and your hand is the only one on the switch. So waiting for outside permission now is like waiting for your own reflection to move first. It's never going to happen. Every month you spend waiting, you lose a month of building that you can't get back. Look at the real bill, too. Waiting doesn't just cost you the thing you're wanting to do. It costs you every hour you could have spent building it. And that second line item is the expensive one. So turn it over. Missing permission isn't a wall keeping you out. It's a door that was never locked. You've been standing in front of it waiting on a buzzer that doesn't exist. No buzzer is coming. There's a handle, but it's been in your hand the whole time. You don't need my permission to get back to the day. How's that? There's the mindset minute and it's yours. Quit waiting to be told. The telling isn't coming, and the waiting is the only thing this costs you. Everybody's staying in the chair. Let me show you exactly what to build with the time you take back from that waiting room. One sentence runs this whole morning, so take it down. Capacity gets built before it's needed, never during, and the opportunity you're waiting on is never going to arrive as a test of what you already built, not an invitation to go start building. Let me define capacity, because it's a corporate word for a very concrete pile of stuff. Capacity is everything that's already in place the second the moment lands. A second service that you already know. So when a client asks, you say yes instead of I don't really do those. A rate you can name without your voice shaking, because the skill under it is real. Systems, rebooking, deposits, the way you run a full day so you can take on more without the operation buckling. Even a cushion in the bank account so you can turn down the wrong haircut without panic. None of that can be thrown together the moment that you need it. All of it has to be sitting there already, built and waiting. Readiness is the through line this entire morning. Boring, built in advance, and nobody claps for it until the exact second it saves you. Some of your capacity isn't even in your hands. Part of it is out in the world, carrying your name. It's the documented work, the reviews, the reputation that walks into a room half a step ahead of you. A year of steady posting isn't a job you finished once. A standing asset, vouching for you while you sleep. Reputation only banks in advance. There's no stepping outside some afternoon and earning 5 years of trust because suddenly you need it that week. And the moment never announces itself, by the way. A good chair at a better shop opens on a Thursday, and they want an answer by Friday. A client who could bend your whole career walks in as a nobody on a slow afternoon. Your shot at a higher rate lands the day you finally get too booked to take everyone. If your skill hasn't kept pace with that number, you raise it, clients leave, and you learn the expensive way that the price was never the real problem. Opportunity keeps its own schedule. Not once in the history of this trade has it waited for a barber to get ready first. Picture that Thursday actually happening. A barber you respect texts you. The chair beside his just opened up. It's a better shop, better foot traffic, better money, and the owner wants to meet somebody by Monday. Beautiful news, right? Now everything you did or didn't do over the last year walks into that meeting with you. Say you spent your slow hours building. Your book is portable, your work is documented, and your skills fit a busier chair. You say yes on Thursday, and now you're cutting there in 2 weeks. Now say you spent your slow hours waiting. You say, let me think about it, which is just what unready sounds like out loud, by the way. While you scramble to get it right, the chair goes to somebody who was already ready on Thursday. Same text, same opportunity, but two completely different lives and outcomes. And both were decided months before the phone ever buzzed. Here's what I left out of that story. Neither man did a single thing on Thursday. Thursday was over before it even started. The one who said yes had spent 11 months building an answer to a question nobody had asked him yet. He built it on boring afternoons that felt like wasted time while he lived them. He didn't rise to the moment. He already met it months later in an empty shop on a slow afternoon when nobody was watching. The other man wasn't lazy, and he wasn't less talented. He was still getting ready, and ready never shows up on a schedule. Add up your own dead time. It's bigger than you would guess. Say your book runs 60 or 70% full. Normal. That's most working barbers on most weeks. On a 40-hour week, 60% full leaves 10 or 12 hours where you're at the shop and not cutting. We'll call it 10. Now spend 3 of those 10 on one deliberate build, one skill, one offer, one system, and hold that line. 3 hours a week comes to about 150 hours a year. 150 hours is not someday. That's roughly what it takes to get genuinely good at a new service. Enough to build the package that lifts your average ticket. Enough to learn the razor work that clients start to request you for by name. A barber who fences off 3 slow hours a week walks into next year with a new capability bolted right onto them. A barber who scrolls walks in with the same hands he had this year and a slightly better For You page. Same slow Tuesday, opposite years. Now, which one thing do we pick? You can't build it all at once. Trying to is just a fancier way of building none of it. So use this filter. Build the thing that's currently capping you. Every barber has one bottleneck, one constraint that holds the ceiling down harder than anything else. Maybe yours is speed. Your work is clean, but you're slow, so you can't take many more haircuts even when they sit right in front of you. Build speed. Maybe it's range. You do 2 haircuts really well and you steer people away from anything else, so half the walk-ins are never going to be yours. Build range. Or maybe your hands are fine and the business is a mess. No rebooking, no system, money leaking out of 6 holes. So go build the system. Don't build the thing that's most fun to practice. Build the thing that unlocks the most haircuts once it's handled. Fix the real constraint, and everything downstream of it loosens at the same time. And now 150 scattered hours lift one specific ceiling. And let me draw the hard line, because this is where good intentions go to die. Busy work is not building. Reorganizing your station is not building. Scrolling other barbers' fades, not building, no matter how much it feels like research. Answering the same 3 DMs for the 9th time is also not building. Building it has a specific shape. It's a rep at something you're currently bad at. You have to do it on purpose. It feels a little uncomfortable, and it aims at a capability that you don't have yet. If it feels comfortable, it's probably maintenance. And maintenance is fine, but maintenance isn't growth. So here's the test. At the end of the hour, can you do something you couldn't do at the start? Yes means you built. No means you were just busy in a way that let you feel okay about the empty chair. And this stuff compounds. That part should light a fire under you. Skill you build this quarter makes next quarter's skill faster to build on top of it. A system you set up once keeps paying out every week with no more work from you. Capacity isn't a bucket you fill and empty. It stacks, and it earns interest. A barber who started stacking 2 years ago isn't just 2 years ahead of you. Compounded, he's further ahead than that. And the gap doesn't hold steady on its own, the way you keep hoping it will. It widens a little more every month until it widens every month that you idle instead of stack. Eventually, catching up stops being a matter of effort and it becomes a matter of years that you can't get back. Picture a firehouse for a second. A firefighter spends almost none of the actual job inside of a burning building. Most of the shift is the exact opposite of the emergency. They check the truck. They test the hose. They run a drill they've run 1,000 times. They study the map of a neighborhood that is not at the moment on fire. From the outside, it looks like getting paid to sit around. But sitting around is not what they're paid for. They're paid to be ready. Because the one thing nobody can put on a schedule is the alarm. The 4 minutes that decide everything get won or lost across 400 quiet hours nobody was watching. Your slow afternoon is the firehouse. That empty chair isn't you waiting on the fire. It's you checking the truck or watching it rust. Now, let me be straight with you. I'm about the last guy who earned the right to preach this. For years, my slow afternoons were a genuine masterpiece of looking busy. I would reorganize my station for the third time that day. I would do research, which meant watching other barbers on my phone and calling it studying. I told myself I was waiting for it to pick up, and the whole time, the picking up was supposed to be me, built by me, in the exact hours I was burning. So no, this isn't coming to you from a mountaintop. I'm handing it up from the bottom of the same hole. I know how cozy it is down there, and I know exactly how it dresses itself up as patience. Now let me take you to the far end of this, because it makes the case better than I can. The oldest barbershop on earth is in London. It's called TrueFit and Hill. Guinness certified it as the world's oldest back in 2000. It opened its doors in 1805. Say that number nice and slow with me. 1805. That shop has been open for 220 years straight. Through wars, through crashes, through every trend that was supposed to kill barbering and didn't. You do not stay open that long by being talented in 1805. You stay open by rebuilding what you offer over and over and over in every slow stretch 2 centuries can throw at a business. So every time the world changed, and it changed constantly, they were already the shop that had kept up. This isn't a story about being old. It's a story about using the quiet to stay ready on repeat for 200 years. TrueFit and Hill is this whole episode run long enough to show its full shape. The comment section has one job before Craft Corner today. What would you build right now if you truly believed the slow stretch was for building instead of waiting? Name it. Putting it into words is the first rep. It's the moment you stop asking for the green light and flip it yourself. Craft Corner. Build in the slow hours sounds great, right up until an actual slow hour shows up. Then watch how it goes in real life. The chair empties at, we'll call it 2:40. You have 20, maybe 30 minutes. Somewhere in your head, you plan to work on your business. But work on your business is not a thing your hands can physically pick up. So out comes the phone, because the phone asks you to make 0 decisions. 20 minutes evaporate. The chair fills back up. Run that pattern across a year of slow gaps, and you've handed away well over 100 hours to a decision you actually never made. Here's the fix, and it's almost embarrassingly simple. Make readiness the default instead of the exception. Pick one build for this quarter, just one. Call it your scissor over comb, straight razor finish, your consultation script. Then stage it. Doing razor work, take the practice head out of the shelf, make it visible, and do your practice. If you're learning a new service, queue up the tutorial. Make it one tap away from you. Fixing the money side. Your one spreadsheet stays open in a tab. You're stripping every inch of friction out from between the empty chair and the rep. Friction is the whole reason the phone keeps winning. Least resistance is the only edge. So make the rep the path of least resistance instead. Give it a face. A barber I know picked up scissor over comb as his one build. He was super quick on the clippers and shaky the second the scissors came out. So a comb and his shears started living right on his station in between haircuts, and a mannequin sat out on the back counter all day. When the chair emptied, he went and grabbed the mannequin out of the back. He did 10 minutes on the same section, then put it back. He never announced a big self-improvement project. He just got it out of the drawer, and then 90 days later, scissor work was a perfect technique for him, and he felt more equipped to charge for it instead of it being something he dodged. And it came entirely out of gaps he used to hand straight to his phone. Look at what staging really does. It takes discipline out of the equation, which is the whole point, because discipline is a terrible plan. It fails exactly when you're tired, and tired is most slow mid-afternoons. What survives when discipline gives out is the default. A queued video, an open tab. Those make building the thing that happens when you're not even thinking, and scrolling the thing you'd have to go out of your way to choose. Flip which one is easy, and motivation stops mattering. Don't build discipline. Build a setup where the right move is also the lazy move. So this week, stage one thing at your station before your client walks in. Then the next time the chair empties, it'll do the reminding for you. And if you already run some version of this, a skill that you drill in the gaps, drop it in the comments. Somebody watching today needs that exact idea, and they can't see it from where they're standing. The mailbag has one standing request this week. If you ever took a dead stretch, a slow month, a rebuild, a fresh start at a new shop, and turn it into something you're proud of today, write me. Not the highlight, the boring middle where you built it. The inbox, as you know, mailitbeforethechop.com, and the chat and the comments, they're right there too. Now into the news. One story from the first day of this career and one from the far end of it, and they agree on something important. 90-second recess. When the bell rings, it's barber news.
Are you still renting a chair like some kind of chair peasant? Introducing the 6-Figure Booth Intensive. In just 6 modules, I will teach you the exact system I use to build a 6-figure business, which, and I cannot stress this enough, is the 6 figures you're about to pay me for this course. Do you need a proven track record to teach this course? No. Do you need a webcam and a ring light? Yes. Module 1 is called Believe in the Chair. Module 2 is also called Believe in the Chair, but louder. Enrollment is $900 and closes whenever I decide it closes, which is never. Because scarcity is a marketing tactic, and I invented urgency.
In the wild, few creatures are as unpredictable as the client who falls asleep in the chair. Watch closely as he begins the descent. First, the eyelids grow heavy. Then the head begins its slow migration toward the barber's clipper hand. This is the danger zone. A seasoned barber senses the shift and repositions with the practiced calm of a nature photographer backing away from a sleeping bear. But it is too late. The head drops. The chin meets the cape. Somewhere, a comb is nearly swallowed whole. He wakes with a start, insists he was resting his eyes, and asks if he missed anything. He did not. He was there the entire time, unconscious and paying full price.
Oh, and we're back. You're listening to Before the Chop, flagship program of the Before the Chop Broadcasting Network, coming to you live from the faculty lounge of the Before the Chop School of Business, which is also just the studio. And notice what you just did. The break was your permission slip to wander off, and you're still here, doing the business side of the trade on purpose. That's the whole morning today. I'm David Ford. If you just sat down, carry this one line. The slow season is the build season, because capacity gets built before it's needed, never during. Second half of the syllabus today, the news. 3 barbers preaching this morning's sermon from their own chairs, a hair growth myth that deserves to die on air, and an old guild word I want you wearing by the end of class. So let's get in to the barber news. Story 1 is about the first day of a barbering career. Story 2 is about what the far end looks like when the building never stops. First one, brand new. Cleveland.com reported this week that a new school, Bell's Barber College, just opened in Summit County, Ohio. It's training the next class of barbers coming into the trade. On its face, it's a nice local ribbon cutting, but look closer at what a barber college actually is. It's a room full of people who cannot legally take a paying client yet. They're choosing to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours building a skill that won't pay them a dime until it's built. Not one person in that room is waiting for permission to be a barber. They earn the readiness first, up front, because that's the only door into this trade. There is no side entrance. If you're already licensed and behind the chair, here's the part that I want you to hear. You did that. You already proved at least once in your life that you can put in 1,000+ hours before a single dollar comes back. So if you're waiting for the slow season to pass, you've just forgotten something. The slow season is barber school with one upgrade. This time, they pay you while you build. Now the other end of the same rope. The Business Journals reported this week, July 20th, that a barbershop out of Raleigh, North Carolina expanded across the state line into South Carolina. The reason they gave was record sales. Now let me be careful and honest here. I'm reading the reporting, not sitting with their books, so the exact shop name and dollar figure are worth confirming before anybody quotes me on them. But the shape of the story is the lesson. They didn't open a second shop and pray the demand would show up. The demand showed up first. Record sales came first. The capacity, the systems, the bench of barbers, the name people already trusted got built first. Their expansion just cashed a check they had already written. That's the correct order of operations. Almost everybody daydreaming about a second chair runs it backwards. You don't expand to create capacity. You build capacity until the expansion becomes the next obvious step. Almost boring, almost unavoidable. Set the two stories side by side. On one end, a room of students builds a skill nobody pays them for yet. On the other, a shop stacked up so much capacity that a second location became close to inevitable. They sit at opposite ends of the same career, and the same rule hums under both. The build comes before the payoff every single time. The slow stretch is that same build with the lights turned down low. Your trade taught you this rule on day one of barber school. The license didn't cancel it that afternoon. Before the myth today, I've got 3 dispatches from working barbers this week, and I promise I didn't plan this. Every one of them is teaching this morning's lesson from a different perspective, a different chair. First one is a quote from Barbers Illustrated magazine. Pull it up. That's Barbers Illustrated. A couple weeks back said, "Excellence isn't built in a single moment. It's built in the habits no one applauds." Now, that's a logo on a black card, and cards like it are a dime a dozen in my feed. So let me do the part that the card doesn't. I'm going to name the habits. Starting on time, every time, so the day never snowballs. Rebooking the man before the cape comes off him. The card is right, and it's the whole episode in one line. Nobody claps for the reps, and the reps are still the whole building. All right, sermon received. This next one has some bite to it. My friend Derek Z runs Blindside Barbershop up in Milwaukee, and he posted a cut, one of those longer curled forward fringes the under 25ers keep asking for, with a message aimed straight at the veterans. Look at the work first. It's clean work. And here's what he wrote under it, word for word. If you're a barber and you're still bitching about these kids' haircuts in 2026, I hate to break it to you. You're old, and even worse, you're lazy. Now look what's underneath, because it's a capacity story. Derek opened that shop with no clientele. The walk-ins who showed up wanted a cut he didn't love and hadn't learned. So he had the choice this whole morning has been about. Either learn it or watch them walk. So he learned it. That's this episode with a Milwaukee address on it. Refusing the cut your town keeps asking for isn't a standard stand. It's a bottleneck you're choosing to keep, and your chair pays for it, not your principles. What it means for you, if there's a style you catch yourself steering people away from, you just found this quarter's build. One more, and the last one says the quiet part out loud. Razzo, back behind the chair, and it reminded him of something. So roll it.
But being back behind the chair reminded me, clients don't care how many sections you use. They care if the haircut actually fits their head shape, their lifestyle, and it grows out well. Practical barbering will always beat performative barbering. So don't cut for the algorithm, cut for the client.
I love that. Practical barbering will always beat performative barbering. Don't cut for the algorithm, cut for the client. That's Razzo the barber, and that line deserves tape on a few mirrors. Clients don't care how many sections you use. They care that the cut fits their head, their life, and that it grows out clean. So set the 3 of them side by side, because they're actually just one instruction. The habits nobody applauds. The cut you didn't want to learn. The practical over the performative. 3 chairs, 3 accents, 1 lesson. And it's the same one that's been on the syllabus all morning. The build is boring on purpose, and the boring part is the part that pays. One quick segment before we land today. Myth or fact? 3 claims about this trade. 2 are true. 1 is a lie I've watched barbers repeat with a completely straight face, and I'll tell you which is which myself, because I'm not going to play the waiting on a guess. Claim 1. Most states make you log somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 hours of training before they'll license you to cut hair for money. That one is true. It's a real requirement. It varies state by state, and it is a serious pile of hours. Hold on to that. Claim 2. The hair you're cutting grows about a half an inch a month, a hair over a centimeter, whether the client likes the pace or not. Also true, and dermatologists will back it. Half an inch every month on a clock you don't control. Claim 3. Cutting hair more often makes it grow back faster and thicker. That third one is a myth. It's false, And it has been false the whole time, no matter how many guys swear their beard came in tougher once they started shaving. Cleveland Clinic's dermatologists are clear about this. Cutting does nothing to the follicle. Your follicle set the speed and the thickness long before that hair ever reached your clippers. A cut only changes the tip of the hair. You take off the soft, tapered end and leave a blunt edge that feels coarser for a while. It looks like more, but it isn't more. You can't trick hair into growing faster by cutting it. Here's why this belongs in a capacity episode, because I know you're asking why. It's the same lie people tell themselves about getting good. That effort they haven't put in will somehow compound while they wait. And the readiness will thicken up on its own if they just keep standing there wanting it. It won't. A follicle grows on its own schedule. Skill grows on its schedule. Neither one cares how badly you'd like the shortcut. Half an inch a month, rep by rep. There is no clipper trick for either one. Which brings me to term of the week. It's an old one, and I think every barber in the building should wear it on purpose today. The term is journeyman. Here's where it comes from. Back in the guild trades, you moved through 3 stages. An apprentice came first, learning, watched, not yet trusted alone. A master sat at the top. He ran the shop, he trained others, and he held the keys. And in the middle stood the journeyman. He was fully qualified and genuinely skilled. He could do the work and get paid for it, but he was not yet a master. The word is more literal than you'd expect, too. Journeyman comes from the French word for a day, journey. A journeyman was a worker paid by the day. He had earned the skill. Now he put in the days, one after another, building his way toward mastery. Here's why I'm handing you this word this morning. Most working barbers, if we're honest with each other, are journeymen. We're skilled, licensed, good at the job, and not yet the master version of themselves. A lot of you treat that middle stretch like a waiting room, like you're stuck somewhere between the school and the someday. But you're not stuck. You're a journeyman. The journeyman years are not the wait, they're the work. That middle stretch is exactly where a master gets built, one paid day at a time. So wear it like a title. It is one. I want to leave you with the part of this that isn't about money, because this is the part that stays with me. The barber you were supposed to become is not a fantasy, and he is not a lottery win. He is made out of hours. Ordinary, unglamorous, specific, marginal hours. And most of them are the slow ones somebody is going to hand you at this week. Everyone you burn is a piece of that man you don't get back, and the bill never comes due the same week. It comes in years, as a career that stayed the same size while you kept meaning to start, and as the people who needed the barber you never became and went somewhere else without ever telling you why. Nobody is coming to give you permission to start. The permission was never theirs to hand out. It was always yours, and you've been holding it the entire time. So here's the one move, and I want you to actually run it this week. Don't just nod at me. Pick one thing to build. One skill, one offer, or one system. Steal 3 slow hours for it. Whole assignment, 3 hours, 1 build this week. Not 30, not a whole reinvention, 3. If 3 sounds too small to matter, good. Small is the exact size of thing you'll actually do. A journeyman becomes a master exactly this way. It is the only way it has ever happened. You know a barber who's been waiting to pick it up, going on 2 years now. Good hands, stalled book. Send him this episode. He doesn't need a bigger break. He needs to stop waiting on one and start building for one. And he'll take that straighter from you than he ever would from me. The inbox stays on around the clock. Mail it beforethechop.com. Comment section under the replay is the other way to find me. The live show runs Monday mornings, 11:30 Mountain, 1:30 Eastern. Subscribe before you click off today. Call it the smallest build of the week. Already done. So next Monday shows up without you having to go find it. Next Monday, we take the readiness you just built and we aim it at something specific. Readiness on its own just sits there. Aim it at one particular thing, and the right people start asking for you by name. That barber gets sought out, and that's exactly where we go next. I'm David Ford. This is Before the Chop. Get behind the chair, chop some hair, and go crush it.